Hello there, you amazing person, you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are listening to this, it means that you care about three important things: faith, purpose, and leadership. My name is Garrett, and this is the Cornerstone Coffee Break. And I started this podcast as a way to fulfill my personal mission, which is to equip and empower people like you to deepen your faith, discover your purpose, and develop your leadership. It's one of my core beliefs that if you focus on growing in these three areas, you will live a richer life, a life dripping with meaning, a life that you are grateful to wake up to every morning, not just hitting the snooze button like, Lord, please give me 5 more minutes. No, you want to spring out of bed. It's a life that you're excited to share with others, and you will live a life of impact as you make a difference in the world. And so I love these topics, but full transparency, I am not an expert in any of these. In fact, I hope I never claim to be an expert in the areas of faith, purpose, and leadership. And I hope I never become the guy who's like, all right, everybody stop what you're doing and listen to only me. I've officially mastered everything there is to know about faith, purpose, and leadership. If that ever happens, please just unsubscribe immediately and don't ever listen to me again. My desire is to be a lifelong learner and a student of these topics. There is always room for growth. There's always something new to learn, and there is always someone else who can teach me something that I don't know about faith, purpose, and leadership. And all of us are on a journey. You and I are on a journey of growth. And I am so glad that we're connected and on this journey together. In the previous episode, we talked about life, LYF, lead yourself first. Because before you can lead others well, you've got to lead you, which honestly, sometimes that is the hardest, most difficult person to lead. And right meow, we're going to build on top of that. Today's episode is LYT, LYT, lead your team. I gave you 5 ways to lead yourself in the previous episode, so today I thought, well, let's do 5 ways to lead your team well. Now, just saying the obvious thing here, there are tons of ways to lead your team well. There are books, and there are other more popular professional podcasts than this one that will tell you how to lead a team well. There's conferences, there's probably a YouTube video someone filmed in their car telling you the 7 secrets of elite team leadership. But what I want to share with you today are 5 things that come from real life. These are things that, as I have reflected on my own leadership, my wins, my failures, yes, those moments where I thought I was leading well, but later realized I was not. So ultimately, I want to grow as a leader, and I want to help you grow as a leader. And so one of the primary ways we do that is by leading our teams well. So I want to share with you just some of the things I've been reflecting on that I appreciate and that I try to emulate in the leadership roles that I have. So number one, the first way to lead your team well is belief. Do the people on your team know that you believe in them? Do the people on your team know that you believe in their skills and their abilities? Or are they just sitting there like, I think Garrett believes in me. He smiled at me once in 2022 and listen, leaders are always communicating belief, either intentionally or accidentally, but regardless, people are watching and listening to you. Like, let me ask you a question. Are other people able to see your belief in the mission and the vision of your organization? Do you communicate belief in your team members? Would people say that you believe the best is yet to come? Do you believe in what you're doing is making an impact? Because if you don't believe it, your team is going to feel that. Your team has a built-in radar for that kind of thing. Listen to this. Your belief in someone is often the bridge between who they are and who they could become. When you communicate belief in someone, it's almost as if you are lending them courage that they didn't know they have. You are encouraging, you are giving them courage that they didn't know was there. And I will say that as a leader, sometimes the greatest gift that you can give someone is that you see something in them that they don't see in themselves. And believing in someone gives them that power. Also, I would say that a lot of leaders focus on giving instruction and they see that as a priority. And it's true, people need instructed, but more than that, people need someone to believe in them. If we ask people what are some of the what do the voices in your head say to you? Like what do you say to yourself? A lot of people are thinking, you're not ready. You're not good enough. Or "Oh, I'm gonna mess this up." We don't need leaders adding to that voice. All right. People need someone who says, "Hey, I see something in you. I think we can accomplish great things." And when you communicate belief in someone, it's like it unlocks new potential. When you believe in someone, it's like oxygen for the soul. I'm kind of stealing a quote here. George Adams said, "We should seize every opportunity to give encouragement because encouragement is oxygen to the soul." And I believe that, but I think sharing belief in someone is encouragement. And it's not just a tool. It's not just a soft skill that you learn and then use once in a while. Belief, as a leader, it is your responsibility to cultivate a culture where belief is the norm. Belief in the vision, belief that you can accomplish the tasks that are set before you. Because the way that you see people eventually becomes the way that they see themselves. And if you're constantly highlighting things that are missing or things that are going wrong, what needs improvement, it causes people to shrink back. But when you're focusing on, hey, what's possible? And when you speak to who people are becoming, when you remind them that what they're doing matters, that's an environment, that's a culture where confidence grows, ownership increases, people have new courage that shows up. And over time, you're not just building a team that produces or gets results, you're building a team that believes they're making a difference. So a question I have for this one is who on your team needs to hear your belief in them this week? Okay, I'm not talking about an annual performance review. I think I need to do a special episode on those because I have a problem with them. But like not waiting to a performance review this week, who is it that you can text? Maybe that you can highlight in a meeting and celebrate something they did, or even just pull them aside and say, "Hey, I see something in you and I believe in you." Because when belief is spoken consistently, it then becomes part of your culture. And what started as just your belief leads to creating a good culture. And that leads to the second point. These first two are kind of cultural pieces that I think you can do as a leader is to create a culture of belief. And number two, create a culture of positivity. Belief might be the foundation. I'm here because I believe that I can do this job and that we as a team can accomplish, what we've been tasked to do. Belief is the foundation, but positivity is the environment. It's like the ecosystem that belief thrives and grows in. So as a leader, it's your job to be this thermostat. You've heard the difference between the thermostat and the thermometer. The thermometer just tells you the temperature in the room. A thermostat sets it. Okay, so as a leader, you don't just reflect the environment, you create it, you set it. And it's one of your most important jobs as a leader to create a positive, optimistic culture. Not fake, not forced, but optimism. I want to share a quote with you by one of my favorite authors, speakers. His name is John Gordon. I love this. This is from the book, The Power of Positive Leadership. Great book. I highly recommend it. John Gordon says, your most important job as a leader is to drive the culture, and not just any culture. You must create a positive culture that energizes and encourages people, fosters connected relationships and great teamwork, empowers and enables people to learn and grow, and provides an opportunity for people to do their best work. I love that. Your responsibility, your most important job as a leader is to drive the culture of belief, of positivity. Now, some of your team members and even you are going to wrestle with questions, sometimes out loud, but a lot of times just silently. Is this worth it? Are we making a difference? Can I stay here long term? Are we going to be okay? Is this company going to last? And how you show up consistently for people will answer those questions. It's one of my core beliefs that leaders of teams need to be optimistic and believe the best for the future. Leaders need to create a culture of positivity and optimism. I mean, who wants to work for or follow a leader who believes the future is all doom and gloom and the worst is yet to come? I mean, if that's you, then you should apply to work for CNN or Fox or any other legacy media corporation because all they do is sell fear and doom and tell people the sky is falling, depending on who their favorite president is. But here's the truth: fear, anger, anxiety, those three things get more likes and follows and views than faith, purpose, and leadership. Fear, anger, and anxiety gets more views and clicks than belief and positivity. And mainstream media knows this. That's how they make their money. But seriously, positivity, it's not fluff. This is real and it's motivating, and positivity is the catalyst for growth and for movement. The emotional tone of your team will almost always reflect the leader. If you carry discouragement, your team's going to feel that and reflect it back to you. If you carry a steady, real optimism, your team is able to borrow from that because positivity, we've all felt this, positivity is contagious. I mean, people love the way it feels to be around other positive people. You love to be around someone who sees the best in you. In a positive environment, it doesn't ignore reality. I get it. There's hard stuff out there, but you and I should grow in our ability to interpret reality through the lens of hope and possibility. The best is yet to come, especially under pressure with uncertainty or setbacks. I mean, people are going to look to their leader to answer the question, are we going to be okay? And then in that moment, your optimism becomes an anchor for them. It contributes to resilience and it keeps people engaged and helps them stay focused on solutions instead of spiraling out of control with the problem. So teams that operate in a culture of positivity don't just feel better. They collaborate better, they perform better, and they're going to last longer. But nothing great just drifts into existence. Like anything great, positivity, a culture of positivity, has to be intentional and practiced. It can't be fake or accidental. It starts with you, with what you highlight, what you celebrate. Your team will start repeating that. What you emphasize, your team will also emphasize. So be intentional to call out progress and to reframe challenges and obstacles as opportunities to grow and use future focused language like, hey, we're learning, we're getting better, there's more ahead. That helps grow the culture. So weed out chronic negativity, weed out gossip, protect your team against cynicism, Address it early, address it directly, because culture is shaped as much by what you correct as what you produce and cultivate. Number three, clarity. Have you heard it said clarity is kindness? Yes. Clarity of what? Everything we can think of. You want to offer your team as much clarity as possible. Clarity of vision, clarity of direction, how to get to that vision, clarity of milestones along our destination, clarity of communication, making wins clear, making clear expectations, clear measurements, define success in simple, repeatable language. So, clarity is kindness. Why? Because it removes unnecessary mental weight from your team. When people are unclear, they slow down. And not even slowing down, but they start creating sideways energy. And then people carry anxiety, second guessing, and they start to hesitate in their work. And they start to wonder, am I doing the right thing? Is what I'm doing right? Or what does success look like? I keep doing the same thing every day, but I don't know if I'm contributing to the success of the organization. But when a leader brings clarity, it's like turning the lights on. People can move forward, they can move together, they can move with confidence, they can focus effort, they can give their best without constant worry. Clarity creates an amazing workflow and high levels of trust between departments, cultivates peace among team members. So I would also say that clarity also aligns the team around a win. I'm reminded of what scripture says in Habakkuk 2, verse 2. It says, "The Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it." That means defining success in simple, repeatable language, making the vision plain. What are we trying to accomplish? What does a win look like this week, this month, this season? What are the expectations? Do we have clear measurements? When those are in place, your team stops pulling in different directions and begin to move forward together. While lack of clarity, confusion, that can really stunt growth and kills momentum. But when it's clarity, that creates alignment and feeds momentum. So here's a leadership challenge. Clarity is not a one time thing. Just like belief and positivity, it's a constant responsibility because vision tends to fade naturally, priorities tend to drift, people forget. And so great leaders are going to repeat and reinforce and over communicate. They're going to say things like, here's where we're going, here's what matters most right now. Here's how we know if we're winning over and over again. Because when the destination is clear and how we're going to get there, the direction is clear. When the next steps we need to take are clear, your team isn't doing busy work. They're making meaningful progress and they're going to be stoked about it. All right. So belief, positivity, clarity. Number four and five, I'm going to put these two together: equip and empower. The people on your team are looking to you as their leader to equip and empower them. I love these two words. Like, if leadership was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, this is it. Let me give you the peanut butter. The peanut butter, equip, give people information, pass on wisdom, give them the tools that they need, give them the budget that they need, give them opportunities, coach them, pass on skills. That's what it means to equip. Now, what does it mean to empower? Empower, once someone is equipped with the information, the wisdom, the tools, the skills, empower them, give them a platform, create a new position for them, promote them, delegate, give them authority, send them out. Man, to equip and empower at its heart is an act of bold love and leadership. It says to the other person, I see what God has placed within you. I see this in you and it's powerful and I trust it enough that I'm going to make I'm going to make space for it, and I'm going to increase your responsibility and your authority. I'm going to invest in you and the impact that I know you can make in the world. Now, let me back up and say this. This is not possible. Equipping and empower people is not possible without the first two things that I shared. Because you will not equip and empower someone you don't believe in. And it's near impossible to equip and empower someone if it's not received with positivity. So you got to have these first two things to work. Many people live with doubt about their worth, about their ability or capacity to make a difference. Sometimes that doubt sounds like, please don't give me that task. Or, man, I don't know if I could do this. I'm going to ruin the organization. But when you equip someone, you're nurturing their gifts. When you empower them, you're affirming their worth, their identity, their capacity as a leader. And this creates a real beautiful, not just productivity and results, but it lends to the culture that it lends to the fact that you are now creating a culture of development and transformation, that people know they're not just going to be stuck in one position because you promote good performance and results. And now people are seeing you release others to do more. And now leadership has become less about control and more about empowering and releasing people. But here's where there's a little bit of tension because a lot of leaders say that they want to empower people. But what they mean by that is, I want you to do exactly what I would do, just without me doing it. But my friend, that is not empowerment. That's you creating a clone. And so, as leaders, we have to trust that someone else's way might be different than ours, but it's still going to get the job done. Our job as leaders is not to make more clones. Our job as leaders is less about control and more about releasing people to do good work. And when we do both, when we do equipping and empowering, we're giving people tools, and the empowerment piece is the trust. We trust them to do it in their own way. Your most important job as a leader is to create more leaders, to create a culture that creates more leaders, a culture built on belief and positivity, a culture with clarity that equips and empowers others to lead and do good work. I hope this episode was an encouragement to you. I am so grateful for the leaders who have invested in my life, who have believed in me, that gave me a role that I didn't deserve. Leaders that created an environment of positivity when I felt like the world was falling apart. I had leaders that anchored in positivity and shared that with me. I appreciate and so grateful for leaders that offered clarity of what success in my job looked like, clarity in what we're accomplishing as an organization. And then I am so grateful for leaders who have equipped me, given me tools and wisdom, and have passed on, coached me, and given me skills. And then leaders who have empowered me, creating platforms and positions for me to release my gifts into the world and to do things differently and to do things my way, but still get the same results. I hope that this episode was an encouragement to you so that you can lead your team well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, please give a follow and share this episode with other people you think might benefit from it. So thank you so much. God bless.